Hello everyone, welcome to Startup Academy. So in today's lecture, we shall be talking about the PYQ session. So this is going to be a PYQ session again. So welcome to your PYQ session. For today, we shall be discussing about the geography. टू जीरो टू फोर ठीक है तो 2024 के PYQs we shall be covering in this lecture and geography के लिए the whole topic geography in itself carries say 5 questions. It carries 5 questions, and out of those 5 questions, we shall be discussing 3 questions in today's lecture. So let's start with the topic. Okay, when we talk about this thing, so the first question says that which factors justify India's significant potential for solar energy. Remember the chapter when we did resources? In that topic or in that PDF, you're gonna get this answer. So let's discuss it over here. It says that India has first, it's gonna be the introductory factor in which you shall be talking about like these could be the factors. And in the next body part, you shall explain in either 1 or 2 or 3 lines how that factor gonna affect the solar energy. Here the main topic is solar energy. So how that factor gonna affect the solar energy, that you can discuss about. ठीक है. So the first that they are telling us is that combination of geographical features is there, climatic factors are there, economic facilities and policy related factors. When we talk about these factors are generally mentioned. So you will mention them like this, and then you will mention them in detail, in a brief detail. I'm saying it a brief and detail as well. So go through that point also. So when we talk about the geography, obviously the industry would be set up where there would be large amount of resources available. Since we are talking about the solar energy, therefore solar energy need to be set up at a place or in a place or on a place where there is a huge amount of sun's rays or sun's radiations are available. Only that place could be chosen for consumption of energy or conversion of energy. So that is what the geographical features we are talking about. And we have the climatic factors. What if you are choosing Mawsynram? Mawsynram experiences heaviest rainfall and most of the rainfall. So you cannot just bring in your solar panels at that particular area and then set them up and every time the rain is coming. So that shall not be the part of your idea, or you will not be setting up a solar panel in order to convert the solar energy and later on will be using it. So that should be kept in mind. Then we have the economic factors. Economic factors, obviously we know that the economy needs to be needs to be taken care of while choosing the certain things. And for solar energy, we know that the inbuilt or in construction cost is very high. Therefore, what we need to do is before setting up, we need to set our economy and we need to see whether the things that we're going to supply, that is the energy that we're going to supply from the sun's rays, will that be beneficial or we will be experiencing the damadole situation. So therefore such things need to be taken care of. Then we have the policy related, like there is the government, state governments are there, official governments are there, government is instantly including so many facilities, so many policies. So those policies are also need to be taken care of. Therefore, when we talk about the geographical features, so geographical features says that 300 sunny days annually must be there. Therefore, high radiations would be there for 300. Then only most of the radiations will be absorbed, out of which some will get converted. Therefore, the potential or the efficiency of the solar cell or panel could be increased. Therefore, the output can also be enhanced in that ways. Then we have the climatic reason says that low season variation in sunlight in most of the part enhances reliability. and decentralized solar application are also feasible in rural and remote places where grid connectivity is weak and promoting inclusive development. So these things are to be taken care of. That means they are talking about the environment. Sorry, they are talking about the climate. Then next thing we have economically India's rising energy demand due to rapid industrialization, urbanization, necessities, sustainable alternatives. Solar energy reduces the dependence on imported fossil fuels, improving energy security, reducing the trade deficit and all. And hence the policy perspective is also there. If you are aware of either of the policies or you remember any policy at that point of time, so you can mention the name of the policy over here as well. Then we have falling solar technology cost, improved efficiency, private sector, and participation. At the end, you can, in the conclusion, you can mention the advantages so that the significance could be well justified by your answer. So this is how you're gonna answer the question. As I've told you, this question belongs to your year 2024, which has marked or left its importance in upcoming years as well, because we are you must be knowing about the Iran situation and the scene going on between Iran and India. Therefore, we all are aware how LPG, how CNG, how petrol, diesel, all these things will be given higher priority in the upcoming days, because because of their depletion, and they are already given actually. Many people have bought induction, and many sites have shown that induction nowadays is out of stock, so you all must be aware. So that is a different thing, so that's why it becomes important for us to rely on the natural resources. Coming on to the next topic, the next topic that we have is, why is distribution of industries in India highly uneven? Like, here they are talking about the distribution of the industries. So they say that why is distribution highly uneven? Again, this question could be answered from our PDF, namely industries. So from that we can answer this, because the factors affecting the establishment of an industry, from that it could be answered. So they are saying it is highly uneven. Also, the question says ahead that explain with relevant examples. So this was the whole question. So they are saying that why is the distribution of industries in India highly uneven? It is so because the basic unit of industry is the availability of the raw material. Where there will be the availability of the raw material, more industries could be set up at that particular area. That was one thing. Another thing was the transportation facility. Another thing was the need of the people and the need of the public. So that was also required. So like this, these were the factors that could be initiated or that could be included while answering this question. So in order to get an idea about industries, you can either watch our lecture or you can go to the Telegram channel, join that channel, and download that PDF. It is already there. Um Link I shall be providing you at the end of this video or in the comment section. Okay? And if you are still facing any issue, you can ask us either in the comment section or in the WhatsApp. We shall respond you back as soon as possible. Okay. So this was the whole question. I hope the question has no issues related. So you can just see the questions. Okay, here it comes. Yeah. Oh, now it will not require that, I believe. I shall write the question again. So this chapter is basically, this question is basically related to your chapter or unit industries that we had already covered. So let me just write that thing. Why is distribution of industries in India highly uneven? Explain with relevant examples. So this was your question for year. ठीक है? Okay. Again, the introductory part has come. So this is how introduction is there. And in the introduction, they would be setting up about the factors. You can mention any number of factors, but remember the number of factors that you are mentioning, you need to still write down the introductory line at least for all, so that the examiner or the one who is checking your notebook knows that okay, the person is aware of the thing that he or she is writing or attempting. So that is our main motto. Okay, so firstly they say that the availability of raw material play a crucial role. Industries tend to concentrate, so that is what we have seen, but since here they are saying that relevant examples are need to be taken care of, therefore the relevant examples that we are mentioning over here is about Jharkhand, Odisha and West Bengal. While learning that, while doing that industrial chapter, we also learned that table, and in that table we were having major states of India who were providing major raw materials, and hence from that context also you can pick up the irrelevant examples and you can place in this format or in this answer of yours. So that will highlight it. Also it is the demand of the question, therefore it becomes necessary for you to mention the examples. Then we have secondly availability of power and infrastructure. Power should be there because industries require large amount of, they have already large amount of, I would say, the machines. So therefore large amount of power is required and the supplement of the power needs to be there. Therefore it has to be there. So power could be provided from Mumbai, from Chennai, and areas of that sort. Then we have the marketing accessibility that we were just talking about few minutes ago. That means where there would be demand, the supply would be there only. That means the transportation facilities comes afterwards. Before that, the supply and demand services needs to be taken care of. So that is what they are saying. As in Delhi and Kolkata, that is the most populated places. Then we have, fourthly, the historical factors also contributed during colonial industries developed around port cities for export purposes, leading to regional concentration. And then we have the availability of skilled labor. Obviously, when the people want to be there, who will run the industry? Malik? No. How can the owner run the industry all alone? He needs the labor services, he needs the management services, he needs the staff basically. So those things also should be there. ऐसा नहीं कि हर कोई cooperative है and everyone is in the corporate business, so it becomes very difficult for a person to go ahead with that particular thing. So that should be kept in mind. Then they are saying that lastly the government policies, again every factor depends on the government policies, the factors, and obviously the rules and the regulations initiated by the government before settling up an industry. So that should be taken care in mind. Okay, then we have the third one. Agriculture is an environment dependent activity. Explain. They have given you a statement again, and this statement says that it is an agriculture is an environment dependent activity. Explain. Remember, while we were doing this unit agriculture, we studied the table. The table had the crops and their requirement, the climatic requirement. So that table could be fit in this question of ours. So hence the things that we are teaching you, the things that you are gaining from our channel, the things that you are gaining from our notes or PDF are important and could be implemented while answering your questions. And hence I am not here to prove myself, but I believe that while attempting these questions, you are aware that the things that we are learning here is not a waste of time. Instead, it will prove to be fruitful in the coming examination. So, coming back to the question, we have agriculture is fundamentally an environment dependent activity. That means in the introduction, they are basically writing the factors along with the definition, which holds major important part. All right, coming on to the climatic conditions, because environment dependent activity it is. So the first thing is the climatic conditions, how the temperature is rising, how is the rainfall distribution is there, how are the winds blowing, what is the type of soil, what is the nature of the soil, what kind of fertilizers are available, what kind of environment is given to the plant, and hence your question shall be answered. Here we have rice cultivation requires high temperature and heavy rainfall, hence it is dominant in regions like West Bengal and Assam, whereas wheat thrives in cooler and drier places such as Punjab and Haryana. So remember that table that we did, which seemed to contain a tabular format like this, and in that format, even if some of you are missing or have missed, do not panic. It is still there on our Telegram channel. The video is still there on our YouTube channel. You can go and watch it out. Okay, here were the crops, climatic conditions, or we can say the temperature and rainfall were also included in this, in climatic condition. And here were the places where they were basically grown. And crops were mentioned according to their cash, according to their months and seasons and everything. So this was the whole table I'm talking about. If you will not write anything, nothing at all, and just make this table, then also you are eligible to get marks on this answer of yours. So that is what my main motto of making such tables is, that you these tables are actually you can get them, they are settled in your mind, and when you tend to remember such things and when you remember these things, you can easily write them down. The jotting comes on itself. So that is what I'm saying. Coming back to our thing, it says that soil characteristics are there, what is the nature of the soil, and for soil, for important part of the soil, you can refer to the chapter soil. Here also in this table there must be a column, I remember, the type of soil they grow in, the soils required, or it would be there in the chapter soil. Yeah, another table, first table, this table you shall be finding, this table you shall find in your chapter agriculture, and this table along with the places, this you shall find, in chapter soils. So this whole makes an answer for 5 marks. This is how you're going to get 5 marks. Okay, with that PDF of 1 or 2 pages only. Okay, next we have thirdly availability of water resources. Water resources, remember we did water resources. Another thing, water resources, this you're gonna get in the chapter of your water resources, and this you can make on your own as well. It is quite easy. The availability of canals, the availability of water, the cheap source of energy, that is electricity, should be there for the tube wells to be run, drip irrigation should be there, and other factors were also there, like sprinkler method was there, or wells were there. So such things could be mentioned. Coming on to the next one, we have the relief and topography. What if you are planting, you are doing terrace farming in the areas of Punjab, in the areas of Haryana? Is terrace farming possible over there? So no. So that thing should be taken care of. Then we have environmental issues like soil degradation is there, flooding is there, climate changes are there, due to which the soil is getting depleted. Like the soil erosion is being there. Soil erosion basically refers to the removal of the upward layer of the topmost layer of the land, or that is basically the soil, and its removal due to the wind. So that is what basically soil erosion refers to. So that is also one thing. Then we have thus agriculture remains closely tied to environmental conditions, making it both location specific and vulnerable to natural variations. So this is how you're gonna end in conclusion. This shall be your conclusion part. Conclusion you can make on your own, explaining or briefing on everything that you have mentioned above. And what I find is that in the conclusion part, you can mention any line worth ending points. So that thing could be mentioned, because unnecessarily mentioning the topics or the things that have already been mentioned in the body is time is useless for both the one who is mentioning and for the one who is reading the mention point. So that is what basically useless. So this is how you're gonna attempt your answers and your questions. Three questions we have discussed: one related to your agriculture, another one related to your solar energy or the resources, water resources and all the energy resources, and the third one that was basically related to your uh, industries chapter. So this is how you're gonna answer the questions. These questions are not very long and these are not to be mugged up. When you have read the PDF, when you have attended the lecture, you are capable enough to go and attempt these answers. Write once, twice, thrice, four times. After writing, the things will settle in your mind related to such chapters which are which you will hopefully see in the upcoming future. So, this was all for today. Thank you and keep watching, and all the best.
Startup Academy presents Lakshya 2027, an exclusive batch designed only for serious ISS aspirants.